I'm Grant Salzman. He's Brendan Schaefer. Brendan, we all good over there? You got us?
We're good.
We're good. Matthew Rocchio's in here giving his MIZ. He's fired up. There you go.
I'm not fired up. But
he's not fired up.
You're going to find out quickly. I'm fired up.
Oh, he's fired up. I'm scared.
Not in a good way.
He's going to yell at me.
You should be scared. You should be scared.
What'd I do? Are you just going to take your anger out on me?
Nothing you did.
Okay.
Well, we're going to talk about it.
We had some technical difficulties. We're good, though. I played some more ads. We're fine.
I did. I had it messed up, but that's not even what I'm fired up about.
That's a hand up. That's on you, and we're moving on.
Hand up on me. The next thing isn't on me, but I've been talking about it for a while, and now I see everybody else talking about it too.
Yeah.
Eli Drinkwitz, coaching carousel.
We've seen it a lot. Yeah.
We're here, man.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good thing to talk about because I feel like there's nothing left to say about Vandy, and there's a lot to say about the coaching carousel.
Yep.
Do you have anything? Is there any lingering thoughts before we get into that just quickly? No. Before, or did you get everything you wanted to say out about the Commodores game? I don't have a
single Vanderbilt thought other than I kind of think I'll still pick them to beat Texas here in about 30 minutes, but we'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
That's in the past, but it set off a ripple that I think has us where we are with this Drinkwitz stuff. I really do think the result and the way it happened and the fact that you lose Bo Pribula.
Yeah. Because now
the tone has shifted.
Yeah, because now if Mizzou goes, let's say 7-5, it's like, oh well. If they lose to A&M, even if they beat Mississippi State, it's like, okay, you're out of the playoffs. Like, how important is this Oklahoma-Arkansas game? Like, maybe you beat Miss State and Arkansas, you go 8-4, but like your coach could definitely be talking to others. Because like you said, it's like it's easier to scoop up a team that's struggling. Like Beamer could easily be scooped up by Virginia Tech because they're struggling. They have nothing really to play for. Which it sounds
like James Franklin. I've seen reports that that's close to happening.
So let's talk about Drink. And then I think there's some interesting things that Randy Carricker said, some people have said about who could replace him. So the coaching carousel, we saw the LSU governor give his saying that Scott Woodyard would not be picking the next LSU coach, then he gets removed. Missouri's governor hopefully doesn't step in. I believe that's Mike Kehoe now. Am I right there? Is he
I don't
the governor
know
of Missouri?
I think that sounds right.
So jobs open. Let's name all the jobs we could see theoretically a realistic chance that Eli Drinkwitz could leave for. I'll go LSU,
yes.
Florida,
yes,
Penn State,
yes. That's the list.
I think that's the list. Other interesting jobs that I don't think are like Arkansas, Virginia Tech.
No.
There'll be more.
We don't have to talk about the other ones.
LSU,
it's
Florida.
Just the three. Yeah. And this is like a little love triangle.
Okay.
And before we get into the reasons why I think Drinkwitz, let me just say could leave for now. But first let's talk about the jobs themselves and the situations. On October 14th, I'll show this to you, Grant. I've got a notes app in my phone where I listed the reasons why I thought Drink was going to leave for Penn State on October 14th.
Okay.
So this was
like oh, wow. This was before, is this before the Bama loss?
Before, what date was that?
Let me look.
I thought that was the 11th. So this was right after the Bama loss. Yeah.
Okay.
This was like, I guess, the middle of the next week. Penn State is opened up. Florida, I don't believe had opened up yet. And obviously LSU had not opened up yet. I don't remember when they fired Napier exactly. But at the time, I was looking at Penn State. And I was like, man, with the way things are about to toughen up at Missouri because of the 9-game conference scheduled next year, and the teams you're having to face, the teams you go to their place, and then it's going to be the same in 27, 29. We talked about that schedule for future years. It's brutal.
Yes.
I'm like, man, now would be such time if you weren't long-term pot committed to where you were and you felt like you were still climbing a ladder. Now would be a heck of a time to say, man, Penn State's opened up. I already recruit Pennsylvania really well for whatever reason. And, you got Pribula from there. You got Zollers from there. I thought that Penn State thing was eerie from the start.
Yeah.
I was like,
always
man,
agreed with that.
By the way, and then like, okay, well, you're saving grace.
And I think it's easy to win in the Big Ten at Penn State.
100% easier than a 9-game schedule at Missouri.
To at least make the playoffs or win 9-10 games every year. Like that's not a layup.
All
but
James Franklin had to do was not
show
lose to the bad teams, right? Northwestern, UCLA. Would their fan base have been irritated if he had gone 9-3 this year, missed the playoff? But he's not getting fired.
No.
He got fired because of losing to those teams in a row off of the almost against Oregon.
Yeah.
He's not getting fired because he lost to Oregon. He could have perpetually been losing those games and people would have been angsty about it, but he would have been fine because he was winning the games he was supposed to win. Eli Drinkwitz has always at Missouri the last 3 years won the games that he's supposed to win.
He's never won a big one.
He's never won a big one. But that's not taking him out of coaching carousel. Nobody's looking at Drink going, he can't win the big one. That narrative isn't out there. There's some people that point out his record against top-ranked teams. But I also think most level-headed people see that as it's just a product of, it is what it is. They just haven't done it yet. It's not to say that he is impervious. He couldn't possibly win one of those games. His teams just haven't won those games yet. But there are going to be fewer of the games that you're supposed to win on future schedules. Yeah. Mizzou's over-under is going to be 5.5 next year. 6.5 next year.
I think next year, 6.5 to 7.5, kind of like what it was this year, because I think the schedule is easier next year. Not easier than this year.
Yeah.
Next
easier
year,
than 27, though.
Next year, Bo comes back and Hardy comes back and all the guys come back. What?
This thing's almost over. Our whole experience as Missouri fans is hanging in the balance here. Okay, I think people realize it, but maybe not. I don't know.
I'm saying that if next year things return, it will be the same. The narrative
7.5.
It'll be the same as this year. This team probably should win. Wow, that's low. They should win 7 or 8 games, and they could sneak into the playoffs. I think it'll be
the coach
the same thing.
And the players stay. Yeah.
Okay, so
I would agree with that.
Things are hanging in the balance. Explain.
Yes. Well,
I agree.
As I was mentioning with the Missouri future schedule, if you are the guy that wins all the games you're supposed to win, but hasn't won the games that you're an underdog or not supposed to win, then and you play more of those type of games, you are going to have a risk of your stock dropping as a commodity in the coaching community. And Eli Drinkwitz, I think, is super aware of that. I'll never forget the look on his face when Mike Kelly was reading him the schedule as it came out that night, because he was on Tiger Talk, the weekly radio show that he does in Columbia. And I was just man, this guy is really aware of what's going on. So
that's some fear.
I look at it's not even fear. It's a little consternation, though. And again, this is the guy that I saw in July in Atlanta at SEC Media Days tell everybody about a 30-team playoff and why they need one, because he wants half the SEC to have access to a play-in round of the playoff rather than allow a committee to select the teams. Yeah, that comes in line with this 9-game schedule, because he knows that at LSU and Florida, you're at risk of going 6-3 in those conference schedules. At Alabama and Georgia, you're going to be at risk of going 6-3 with some of these conference schedules. At Missouri, you're absolutely at risk of going 6-3 or 5-4 or 4-5. And just never really having access to that playoff unless they expand it and take it away from a committee who's going to look at those losses and say, yeah, we know you're in a tough conference, but this ACC team went 11-1. We need to honor that. Yeah. No, you don't. But there's risk of a human committee doing that. So all this is going on in Eli Drinkwitz's mind. And then that Penn State would be the perfect eject button at that point to say, I'm not viewed as a coward for leaving the SEC. This is an upgrade. This is a place with facilities, space, resources. This is it's literally the perfect crime is the way that I thought about it 3 weeks ago.
Wouldn't it be funny with him really harping on the 9-game schedule if he just left? SEC needs 9 games. Oh no,
brother.
That's Big Ten.
We are going to find out who Eli Drinkwitz is over the next few weeks. And I'm not saying that if he leaves, he's a bad guy. But we're going to be able to look at some things and say, if this was really how you said this, that, and the other, but that seemingly was just a line. Yeah. You were being a salesman when you said that.
The thing is,
that could happen here. We're going to find out.
He hasn't done enough to get goodwill. If Pinkel left from the fans, okay, let's say Pinkel left after 2014 and then came out of retirement in 2016 and came back to Mizzou, he'd get a standing ovation. He'd get love and support. If Drink left for LSU or Florida, that first game back in Columbia, because eventually he would play in Columbia again, would be so
at Florida, it would be next year.
Yeah.
If it happens.
It would be, because Missouri fans, if you have not realized this, Missouri sports fans, they hold grudges. People still hate Stan Kroenke 10 years later.
I was going to tell you, if Drink leaves, and if he leaves for Florida or LSU, especially SEC, if it's Penn State, I think it's a little less.
Yes.
Stings a little less. If he leaves for another SEC school,
oh my gosh,
he will be behind only Stan Kroenke on the villain list in this state.
Yes.
I'm just telling you, and I don't think that's wrong.
No.
Because this is the guy that he is a very good talker. He controls the narrative. And look, a lot of this might feel premature. People listening, like, why are you already talking about this as though it's a done deal? It's certainly not a done deal. What I love about this upcoming 2 months, we get to find out.
Yeah.
We get to find out who Eli Drinkwitz is. He is a brilliant talker, and he can sell you on a vision. But, like, a lot of it will look empty in retrospect if he departs in a situation where Missouri is giving him everything he wants. Don't get it twisted. If Drink leaves, it's not because Missouri didn't pay him enough. They will make him a top 5 paid coach in the country.
Yes.
Maybe even top 2 or 3. I'm telling you, money's not going to be the reason he leaves if he leaves.
No.
So with that in mind, it shades a number of past comments in an empty light if this ends up going the way that it goes. But Grant, I was talking to you about my Penn State thoughts on the 14th of October, thinking he would leave for Penn State, and I laid out the reasons why. The 9-game schedule, the idea that his stock, if he goes 6-6 next year, nobody's talking about hiring Eli Drinkwitz.
Yes.
You got to strike while the iron's hot. If you're a jumper, if you're a climber, if you're a stepping stone guy, you can't
Lane Kiffin.
You can't. Well, Lane Kiffin is another guy in this cycle that is very relevant to this I called it a love triangle, because Lane Kiffin is going to be a candidate at both LSU and Florida, right?
Yes.
And LSU is getting more interesting. I actually could see Eli Drinkwitz going to LSU. A lot of people kind of think it's going to be Florida.
Brings Kirby, keeps Blake.
I don't care about his coordinators at that point. But my thought on the LSU is it's getting to be such an S show that, like, they might have originally thought they could aim higher, and they might not be able to because of the way their governor is stepping in and everything that's going on. And it's not to say that Drinkwitz would not be a good hire. I think he would be a good hire for any of these, because I think he wins. I think he will win, and he would win at Missouri if he stays. Obviously, I will be frustrated because Mizzou, as we know it, will take a massive step back, and it'll be a while before you recover. You might land the right head coach to replace him. I don't know that we know about leadership at Mizzou right now to say definitively that Laird Veach would make that hire and nail it, because we just haven't seen it. He hired Kelly Harper, right? That lost to Maryville so far. That's an exhibition. It's early. I'm not saying that's the wrong hire. I'm just saying we have no idea. We do know that there are power people at the university that behind the scenes can work to get the right coach, because it happened with Drinkwitz. And they eventually, they wanted Blake Anderson, and they told Jim Sturk,
who?
You're out of your effing mind. We're not hiring Blake Anderson. Try again. Give us another list. And that is, eventually led to Drinkwitz, and it was a great hire. I look at it, though, and say, you don't know for sure who they're going to get. I do have confidence that the same people that are spending money to make it great now would be spending money to hire a new coach if they had to. But it'd be very, very antsy about who they would get. I hope they would swing big, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
These are the same people that, they're moving the student section 15 feet back so that they can put a row of empty chairs in front of the basket. So, like, we don't really know. I have faith that it'll go well, because I think optimistically I have to. But you mentioned Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is going to be coaching in the college football playoff and probably deep into it.
Yes.
If Ole Miss, I don't think Ole Miss loses another game. And so they're a very good seed, probably a home team on that first weekend, probably wins. I don't know that both LSU and Florida are going to say, if let's say that Kiffin would be a candidate at both. I don't know that both those schools are going to say, we'll wait until Lane Kiffin finishes unless they've got an agreement behind the scenes where, like, we know you're coming. We're going to pay you $14 million a year. Like, we will wait for you.
It has to be a handshake deal.
Don't screw us. Like, the agent it has to be all under the table and known. Otherwise, that's a humongous risk for either of those programs to wait it out.
Yeah.
But let's say that one of them does get Kiffin, because the best thing, if you're hoping that Mizzou keeps Drink, is that Drink basically has nowhere to go. Now, if we find out that he was entertaining this behind the scenes, are we even going to want him anymore? Like, I'm telling you, it's going to be a crazy, crazy 6 weeks. But let's say Kiffin goes to Florida. Most people would say, like, well, it seemed like Drink would go to Florida. But what if Florida's just like, nope, we're throwing it down on the table and saying, this is it, we're hiring you. We're going to make an offer you cannot refuse. And Kiffin goes there. Well, then LSU's like, well, we kind of thought Kiffin, maybe John Summerall from Tulane, maybe, but maybe it ends up being Drink. But even if LSU's like, no. We've got people that are a little more, we like them better than Drink for whatever reason. Okay, they hired that guy. I still think he could circle back to Penn State. So, like, there are 3 now, Grant, possibilities for where Drink could land in a cycle that is what's the word? In real estate, we call it like a buyer's market or a seller's market.
Yeah.
It's a market that favors the coach who is the commodity, because there's more openings than there are quality candidates to fill them.
Yeah, and you're buying mansions. Like, these aren't little jobs. Like, these aren't the Arkansas of the SEC, or even, quite frankly, the Missouri of the SEC from a few years ago. Obviously, they're in a new echelon now, but these are the big boys. Like, those 3 schools you just mentioned are like the hierarchy of college football. And I think
Florida
can
is
be
weird, because we look at Florida and we're like, well, Mizzou has actually done better than Florida in recent years. And it's not money anymore as the reason that would separate Florida from Missouri, because Missouri will spend the same. But there's that history, there's that cachet. And what nationally they view it to be is actually probably what it is, right? Perception is reality.
Yeah.
Perception nationally about Missouri is still, that's going to be if they've got a good coach, that coach will go somewhere else. Only Pinkel didn't do that. And I think he was the exception to the rule. If Drinkwitz is considered a good coach, Florida still has that kind of pedigree above Missouri from a national scale. And that's just the way it is until you have someone like Drink stay to elevate it for long enough. Like Pinkel brought it into the red zone, but to get it to the goal line of national contender, you would need someone like Drink to stay longer than I believe Drink is going to stay at this point. Because it just is a math equation that doesn't favor Mizzou in this moment.
I agree with you. I think Drink's a perfect fit for LSU. I really do. I don't think he's as good a fit for Florida. LSU needs someone to bring stability. And whether you don't like Drink, you don't think he'll ever get you there, he will stabilize. He can stabilize a program. He stabilized Missouri. I think he can stabilize LSU, and stabilizing LSU might mean more than what stabilizing Missouri means, but they need a guy with calm presence. He's flashy, but not Brian Kelly flashy. He won't make as much news controversial as Brian Kelly. Like, yes, he's in the news, but more of quips and stuff like that, not banging his hand on a table, freaking out at press, not acting like a child. Like, I think that's what LSU needs. He's a Southern guy. He's from Arkansas, right there next to Louisiana. Like, he makes a lot of sense to be the Louisiana State University head coach.
And I almost feel like if Kiffin leaves, it's because he leaves for Florida, because there's like some connections there. But part of me wonders if Kiffin just stays at Ole Miss. And if we get a Kiffin extension announcement like we did Matt Rule, it's over for Drinkwitz at Missouri. Like, that will be the final straw. If Kiffin is extended by Ole Miss, I will be 98% sure that Drinkwitz is gone. Because I think that's 2 jobs Drink could take rather than 1 in the SEC, LSU and Florida. If Kiffin goes to one of them, you've got a chance that the other one just doesn't like Drink enough to take him. But if that's the way we're viewing it, we're doomed anyway, because then the cat's going to be out of the bag that Eli Drinkwitz's whole thing here was not a long-term thing. That's what it's going to show if he entertains these, even if they decide they don't pick him. It's going to get ugly, man.
Would you like to hear Bernie Michaelis's? And
I would. Because I respect and like those guys, and I saw some of it, but I'll admit I haven't clicked it yet. So I want to hear this. Okay,
this is a minute clip of Bernie Michaelis and Randy Carricker discussing the possibilities with Eli Drinkowitz.
Things, and we've all been talking about this since the Florida job opened and then LSU opened. Is Eli Drinkwitz is on pretty much everybody's list of favorites to go somewhere else. And I've been saying all along, I don't think if I were in Eli Drinkwitz's shoes, and obviously I am not, Mizzou's never won a championship, LSU's won championships, Florida's won championships, but he's got it pretty darn good at the University of Missouri. He can go 9-3, 10-3 at Mizzou, or even 9-4, and still be a beloved figure. You go 9-4 at Florida or LSU, and you get fired. So in talking to people close to the Mizzou program, what I hear is that they haven't heard from Eli about the possibility of leaving yet, and he did sign an extension again right before the season. But the other thing that was said to me was, we will do whatever it takes to keep him, and we've got whatever it takes to keep him.
I don't doubt that at all. And that's just one way where, Drinkwitz has changed the culture. And I'm not saying that he's the reason why these really smart people behind the scenes can step up and get things done. But in a way it has, because since he's been the coach, he's been able to get things done in a way that just haven't been done at Mizzou.
Yeah, and that is Bernie McCliss and Randy Carricker. And Randy's point, obviously Bernie talks about how Drink has gotten things done that don't normally get done at Mizzou. But to Randy's point, I think that's what we both agree on, is that the boosters, and Randy will say probably knows some more up and up people than we do, but the boosters are saying we have the funds. Like that's
the
what
money
the
will
money
not be the problem.
And I agree, but that is also encouraging then, Brendan. If Drink leaves, God forbid,
the same people
the money
will want to buy a football coach.
Not be the problem to buy a football coach.
And what I hope is, frankly, if he leaves, I hope he leaves for the SEC.
Yes.
Because I think it will embolden the money people even further.
Oh, they'll be so mad.
To say blank you to this guy and beat him and get the guy in here that will. But I'm telling you, it will be a slap to the face if he leaves, because of exactly what Randy and Bernie are talking about. The money is not going to be the reason.
Yeah.
They'll make him the highest paid coach in college football. Whatever that is, they'll do what they need to do financially. I truly believe that to be the case. He's going to leave, if he leaves, for other reasons. And that's what will make it most disappointing if it happens.
I agree with you.
And this is such a hard conversation, Grant, to have, because I've been doing radio shows here and in Columbia for 2.5 weeks since I wrote down on my phone the reasons I thought the head coach was going to leave for Penn State. And so, you got to kind of, but it's getting talked about more. And and the tone is shifting because of a lot of the reasons that we have laid out. And I still talk to people in my personal life that I've told people that I know. A buddy from bowling last night, I said, hey, you getting worried yet? I'm waiting for people to join where I've already been. Is like, this is a real thing that could be happening. And people are starting to, I think, see the tea leaves a little bit and say, oh, well, it's a math equation, my friend. Yeah. It's one that doesn't favor Mizzou, not because they don't have the people in place to spend to keep him, but because he is an agent of his own free will and can decide what to do in his life and coaching career. And again, it's a stock valuation. His stock is incredibly high right now, and it is a market in which more jobs are open than quality candidates to fill them. And so even if Eli Drinkwitz got a $12 million a year contract extension at Missouri today, the concern would be, well, shoot, man, this schedule is, what if I go 5-7 2 years in a row? Like, sure, you get bought out and you get your money anyway.
Yeah. But then where do you go?
But the same as anybody else, you resurface somewhere and everything goes well. But it's going to be tougher to keep a job at Missouri the next 4 years. I don't think he would lose enough games to get fired or have that be considered.
No.
I've always said, and other people haven't. I mean, Gabe DeArmond follows this as close as anybody. He was making videos last year where the question was, is it more likely that he would be fired or that he would take another job first? And I believe Gabe came out on the side then of more likely to be fired because it's the SEC and a couple of bad seasons can do it to you. I said, there's no way he's going to be fired at Missouri.
5 to 7 bad seasons.
I just flat out disagreed with that. And I mean, we're about to see potentially why, because he's going to be a commodity. Now, none of us envisioned that it was going to be to this degree a coaching carousel that has LSU, Florida, Penn State. Nobody thought Penn State. Ask me if on day of college game day, James Franklin on the desk there in State College, if we thought, this was going to be a year where that job opened up. Absolutely nobody thought that was going to be the case. And so it's gone beyond our wildest dreams, and that's terrible news for Missouri because there's so many jobs that are quality, that are desperate. And by the way, if you're Drink, you don't take a job worrying about what my leash will be because you have an ego to be in this profession at this level. You have to believe that you are the one that will be able to bring the program back to prominence, whether it's Florida, LSU, Penn State, whomever. It doesn't matter. Missouri, you have to believe that you're that guy. Drink
I agree.
Believes that he's that guy. But when you take the Florida job, there's a built-in cushion of like you get a couple of years to kind of dilly around before you lock it in. And then you get fired. What was it for Napier? Year 3, year 4? You get a couple of years of cushion. At Mizzou, it would be like if they went 5-7 next year, it's like, whoa, we're moving in the wrong direction. I'm not saying they would have fired him over that. To your point, it would take several seasons. But you get you get to reset the clock a little bit when you sign a new contract.
I agree.
And the buyout at Mizzou is not what it's going to be at Florida, LSU, or Penn State. Because of the market, schools are going to have to eat it. They're going to have to sign a contract where everything is basically guaranteed to those coaches. It is for the savvy that I give credit for Eli Drinkwitz to have as a businessman, as a marketer, as just a person. I think it's going to be difficult to imagine him passing it up. But he'll be a villain here if he leaves. Don't get me wrong about that. And that's right. He should be. But
I agree with you.
I freaking hope he signs a contract this week. That's what's so complicated about this because I'm talking in some very negative terms. I want this dude to be here for life because that tells recruits, hey, all these other schools that don't know who their coach is going to be, you guys can come here instead because we've got stability. It's going to be the most pivotal 6 weeks in the history of Missouri football. And I'm not joking when I say that.
And I hope in those 6 weeks they went out and make the college football playoff.
Me too, because then if he leaves, it's like, whatever, dude. Like we're going to be okay here.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to hire a coach because we just showed that it can happen. So
real quick here, one name.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
If he leaves, who do
Eric
they?
Morris.
Eric Morris. Where's he at?
That's my name. North Texas.
Okay. I don't disagree with that. I like him.
I'm going to start beating the drum now because, it's getting talked about more.
Or Summerall.
Summerall would be great, but I think he could go to LSU. Like, here's what I predicted a few days ago. I am a member on Power Mizzou, and so I love chopping it up with people over there. I said Drink, I think, to Florida because Kiffin stays at Ole Miss, signs an extension when they're making the playoff, which nobody that's a hot take right now. Summerall to LSU was the guess that I had. Brian Hartline to Penn State. Those were my guesses. He is the OC at Ohio State right now.
Okay. You think Penn State would hire a guy without head coaching experience?
I don't know for sure that
that's
they would.
When I've heard his name. Yeah,
he's considered a very up and coming candidate, and it's just one of those if you're right kind of deals. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who cares what people think about the hire? But if you nail it, then suddenly you go, hey, this was worth it to take the leap. It's going to be a compelling period of time, Grant. My concern from a Mizzou standpoint is if you don't beat Texas A&M, the rest of this season won't be compelling to talk about. It's only going to be the coaching carousel stuff. And I hope that that's not the case. But we're going to live through it. We're going to see what happens, brother.
Yep, I agree. Mizzou right now 6.5-point underdog at A&M. Imagine that will stay right around 6.5 to 7.
That might be an emotional hedge, by the way, for me on this one. Like actually betting the other side just because I think if Mizzou loses this game, it goes so far off the rails, dude.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, if you bet that and Mizzou somehow covers, then
I hear you.
In a world of hurt.
You could just bet the money line and basically say this isn't a financial investment. This is truly an emotional. It's not financially. What do they say on all the? This is not financial advice.
Yeah.
Not a lawyer, but that would be my stance, dude. I just got to be real about it because I don't think people want to hear me talk about it in a way that I don't believe.
Yeah.
But now that it's being discussed enough, I hope the view isn't this guy's a chicken little. But if it is, then screw it because I'm not going to be dishonest about what I see. Like Randy Burney, Randy's right. He said
totally
Mizzou
right.
will do everything to keep him.
And I think they will.
It takes two. Mm-hmm. And look, if he doesn't sign an extension this week, he's not going to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, And if he's using other schools as leverage for Mizzou, when Mizzou will already make you as highly paid as you possibly, let's use our brains, guys.
Yeah. I agree.
That is what concerns me. It's like it's not a leverage move if you've already got the kingdom and they'll give you everything you ask for. What leverage is required there? That's where I'm at, brother.
Yep. All right. Well, Missouri bye week, so coaching carousel takes over. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to try to win you money. I think we both had fine weeks. Not great, but
just
fine. He's Brent Schaefer. I'm Grant Salzman. This is MIZ-STL. We'll be right back after these quick messages.
Lunchtime just got a whole lot better at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. From mouthwatering wraps to loaded quesadillas to bold flavor-packed sandwiches, Hot Shots has something fresh every single day, along with your favorite wings, burgers, and pizza that you know and love. And don't sleep on those Hot Shots tacos. Plus, if you gotta be in and out quick for lunch, Hot Shots has you covered every day starting at 11 a.m. Find your nearest Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill now at hotshotsnet.com. That's hotshotsnet.com.
LouInfo.com news headlines brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. GetBC.com.
With your LouInfo.com news, I'm Jared Sorello. St. Louis police say a toddler who was murdered earlier this week died of sexual assault. The department said 2-year-old Breon Wells showed signs of strangulation and other injuries related to sexual assault at the time of his death on Monday. Authorities said a caretaker turned himself in connection to the child's murder. He is 21-year-old Nico Cotton. The St. Louis Board of Aldermen will consider what Mayor Kara Spencer calls one of the city's largest emergency housing investments ever. 3 bills are expected to be proposed today to commit more than $13 million to expanding shelters, helping displaced tornado survivors, and supporting the unhoused population. And the interim St. Louis sheriff says he could stick around if Alfred Montgomery is removed from office. John Hayden said Thursday that he would run in a special election if Montgomery is convicted in his trial next month. We're streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com. I'm Jared Sorello.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. A little bit breezy today, but otherwise pretty nice. We'll be hitting about 60 and sunny with a big high pressure system over our area. Down to 40 and some clouds overnight with a quick cold front moving through. It will be a little bit cooler on Saturday. Sunny and mid-50s. We'll stay in the mid-50s with sunshine coming up on Sunday. Warmer Monday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com.
Hi, it's Jennifer Bardot, and I am here with Edward Jones financial advisor Bethany Schell. Bethany, when it comes to choosing a financial advisor, what should people really be asking?
Jennifer, I think the first question is simple. Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Your goals, your family, your future, it should always be personalized.
So it's not just about numbers?
Exactly. Life changes, and so does your financial situation. You want someone who will be there with you, working with you to help keep your strategy on track.
What if someone is brand new to investing?
That's the best time to start. Use an established process to create a personalized strategy backed by advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we make sure you have access to the information you need when you need it.
I love that. So it sounds like financial planning is really about living life on your own terms.
It really is. I believe feeling rich isn't about hitting a magic number. It's about having financial strategies that support a life you love. Because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Contact me today at 314-648-2020. This is a paid-for ad by Bethany Schell at Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hi, it's Jennifer Bardot, and I am here with Edward Jones financial advisor Bethany Schell. Bethany, when it comes to choosing a financial advisor, what should people really be asking?
Jennifer, I think the first question is simple. Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Your goals, your family, your future, it should always be personalized.
So it's not just about numbers?
Exactly. Life changes, and so does your financial situation. You want someone who will be there with you, working with you to help keep your strategy on track.
What if someone is brand new to investing?
That's the best time to start. Use an established process to create a personalized strategy backed by advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we make sure you have access to the information you need when you need it.
I love that. So it sounds like financial planning is really about living life on your own terms.
It really is. I believe feeling rich isn't about hitting a magic number. It's about having financial strategies that support a life you love. Because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Contact me today at 314-648-2020. This is a paid-for ad by Bethany Schell at Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This hour of content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the west.
The Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway 40 if you're a boomer.
The St. Louis expression?
Stream our content 24/7 at louinfo.com. The Lou Information Station. Station.
And we're back on MIZ-STL on the Lou Information Station. He's Brendan Schaefer. I'm Grant Salzman. We're going to give some picks. And Brendan, I believe I went 5-5-1. No harm, no foul.
5-5-1. Yeah, because we didn't have as many SEC games last week, if memory serves. I do think I looked at these earlier in the week.
I'll walk you through them.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, we both took them 5.5.
Nailed it.
1.
Didn't nail Arkansas.
I flipped my Arkansas pick, which was stupid. I had Auburn originally, flipped it to Arkansas.
That's right.
We both took them. They lost. I took South Carolina plus 11.5. They probably should have won the football game. Brennan took Bama. We each took Mississippi State plus 7. Bad line. They pushed. I took Tennessee minus 8.5. You took Kentucky. Tennessee won and covered. LSU plus 2.5 for me. Maybe the worst wager of all time. Brendan Schaefer bang on with them minus 2.5. And we each lost our Mizzou play of them winning and plus 3.5. No team, that was the most dominant game from a team that didn't at least cover 3.5. For favorite picks, I went 3-2. I had Ole Miss, Washington minus 4, Cal to go over, which it did. I also took Minnesota plus 8.5. They were down 30 in the second quarter.
That was not good. Yeah.
And Iowa State. I had 2 games on this list on that little chart, that gets released.
I know.
The outplayed. The only team that outplayed and lost more than Mizzou was Iowa State.
And I took BYU solely because you took Iowa State. That was just a straight fade of Grant, which allowed me to go 4-1 in my favorite. You went
4-1. You took BYU plus 2.5, Pitt minus 6.5, UCLA plus 25.5. That did not hit. And then you took A&M and Tech. I don't know which Tech this is. Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. They blew out Oklahoma State, I believe.
So you went 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3.
We'll count it later. We got to make these picks.
I believe you went 6-5-1. I don't know.
We're both around 500.
I'll
tabulate it later.
Yeah, we'll calculate.
We were about
a
split difference.
On time.
We are, because I talk too much about Drinkwitz going to LSU. All right.
It's all good.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's start
SEC
with the
games.
SEC. Do you have it pulled up? Because I'm still pulling up. Okay,
I can go. I've got DraftKings.
Yeah, let's go.
Vanderbilt plus 3 at Texas. Texas is minus 3, a home favorite.
I'm gonna take this. It's a bad line because you could have got this at the same odds as a pick'em, and now you could have got at least minus 2.5. I'll take Texas minus 3.
I think Texas is the right play. I'll be taking Vanderbilt. I almost hope they lose just because I'm sick and disgusted at the fact that Vandy has potentially tanked my program's future because of injuring our quarterback and beating us. So I'm bitter. Love you, Vandy, but not right now.
Georgia, Florida, what is it? The biggest cocktail party? Yeah.
World's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Are they in Jacksonville? Correct?
It moves from time to time. I
believe they're in Jacksonville. Georgia, Florida. Florida is plus 7. If it was minus 6.5,
yeah,
I'll take the Bulldogs, but I don't love it. I think this could push.
Yeah, I'll take Georgia too, though. I think that's one of those where, kind of like the Ravens last night, you're like, oh, I don't know, giving a lot of. No, give me Georgia.
Kiss. Keep it simple. Stupid.
I didn't want to kiss you.
Oh, okay. Mississippi State traveling to Arkansas, and after the last night's performance, just fade Arkansas whenever you can. Maybe take the over.
Arkansas is minus 4.5. What do they know?
I'm going Mississippi State plus 4.5.
Me too. I think that the powers that be look at Mississippi State and say, oh, they always blow it in the end. But dude, this will be interesting. This will tell us who those two programs are in terms of the hierarchy between the two. Yeah. I like the Bulldogs to win it outright. I think I'm going to place a parlay that includes that.
I think so too. South Carolina at Ole Miss in Oxford. Ole Miss getting 12.5 points. Give me Ole Miss. I think the South Carolina team's dead in the water after what happened last week. Ole Miss covers
crush them. Don't tell Hannah, but that's going to crush him.
Have we only differed on one?
We only differed on Texas and Vandy, and I don't even really feel very strongly about that one. How do you feel about this one? Oklahoma at Tennessee. Elimination game for these two teams in their playoff hopes. The Vols are -3. Vols are -3 at home.
Neyland, I would buy the point because it's really good odds at -3, so I'd probably go to 2.5, but I'll take Tennessee.
But you can't. I'm not going to let you.
Tennessee
-3.
3.
Give me. I really have no idea on this one, Grant. I'll take Oklahoma just to fade
I knew you would, yeah.
I really don't like this Oklahoma team. I don't think they can score with the Vols, but the Vols defense is going to make Oklahoma's offense look pretty good.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good about that.
Kentucky at Auburn. Auburn shouldn't be a 10.5-point favorite in any game they play. But this Kentucky team stinks.
I already wrote Kentucky for you. Okay, who do you got?
Have a backup quarterback. Give me Kentucky.
Kentucky plus the 10.5?
Yeah.
Give me Auburn.
Okay.
Auburn is my... If I had to say like one team in the SEC is going to win this week for sure, it's actually Auburn.
They're going to win.
Like more so than Ole Miss, I feel like Auburn beats Kentucky. I just think Auburn is going to end up being just fine. They're going to keep Hugh Freeze because this is not the cycle to fire your coach. Now, if they lose at home to Kentucky, he will be fired by Monday. But I think that Auburn actually dominates in that one. I really actually, even at 10.5, I kind of love that spread.
Yeah.
So we differ there. That's okay. We can disagree. It makes for more compelling radio.
I'll let you start us off then on our 5 favorite picks.
Screw it. I just pulled up the rest of the board. Give me future Mizzou coach Eric Morris. They're taking on, I wrote Eric Morris. North Texas is -6.5 at home against unbeaten Navy. So that's going to be a really compelling game. It might be very difficult to blow out Navy. My actual prediction, North Texas wins it by a field goal or so. But I'm going to take North Texas just because of the meme of me saying Eric Morris would be a good. I believe he was Mahomes' coordinator back in the day. Something like that. Yeah. Or a QB coach for him or something.
It's a weird day because I think there's a lot of high-ranked teams on the road, which like there could be a lot of upsets, but there's also a lot of big spreads. I'm going to go, and I'm just a Friday night guy. Friday night lights. In overs, give me points on Friday nights. Memphis Rice over 48.5 points.
Okay. You've been doing pretty well with these. I think Cal was the one you hit last week.
I try to get at least one.
Oh boy. You really liked Ole Miss when we took them, so I'm just going to double down on Ole Miss before you get a chance to. I think South Carolina's cooked, and I think they probably, they're just cooked. So give me Ole Miss -12.5 as a bonus. So that's a double down for me.
I'm going to double down on Texas -3.
Oh, hell yeah. Because that's the opposite of the thing that I took. So that makes it even more fun.
Yeah. It should be exciting.
You're right, man. Some of these other conferences, it's really, really tricky to figure out exactly what the heck is going on.
There's some tough games.
I won't go to it yet. I'll Auburn. I'll actually double down on that Auburn spread, which is just ginormous. This is not normally the way that I do it. I'm not going to double down on Mississippi State because I'm going to bet that. I'm going to bet them to win the game, and I don't want to lose twice.
Can I give you a little breaking news?
What's he got?
Not super breaking. Urban Meyer said he has no interest in returning to coaching. That was the name people were talking about, but
no.
I'm going to go to the city I will be in this weekend. I'm going to fade them. Pitt travels to Stanford. I will take Stanford +14.
Why are you going to Stanford?
I'm not. I'm going to Pittsburgh.
Oh, you're fading Pittsburgh.
Fading Pittsburgh.
I kind of like Pitt, man. They're freshman quarterback. They've been like.
I think they won the game. It's just hard for teams to go coast to coast.
Yeah, and to win by 2 touchdowns while you're at it is probably
more than
not
2.
The easiest thing to do. Oh, good gravy. Yeah, I'm looking at like Indiana, Ohio State. There's so many of these that are. You know what?
Yeah.
I will say the team that extended their coach is gonna have a really good game and upset USC. Nebraska +4.5 at home. I'm probably putting some money on that as well. I like the Huskers.
Okay.
Matt Rule's staying. They feel good about life. Their fans are going to be behind that team at home. I hope Nebraska does win. They deserve it. That's what it looks like when your coach wants to stay.
Do you want me to do, after my last pick was kind of disgusting, taking Stanford, do you want me to just take an absolutely gross? You are 100% going to fade this game. I'm very confident.
Really?
I'm going to take North Carolina +2.5 tonight against Syracuse.
Ooh, I just don't trust Syracuse. I'm not going to fade you. I don't like the pick, but I don't trust Syracuse enough to fade you. That is gnarly though. That's round 4, so we got one more to go.
Yeah.
Damn, better make it count. Better make it count. I'm thinking about Pitt. I could go my Golden Bears. They're +6 hosting Virginia. They gotta go coast to coast. Bears. I don't like they've broken my heart too many times.
That's like me and Duke.
Yeah. And of course, the one time that I was on Duke was when they played Georgia Tech and Georgia Tech won. So I have not gotten anything right with Duke. I have not gotten nearly enough right with Cal. Texas Tech -7.5. It's at Kansas State. It could be weird, but it's one of those where it's like they already had their letdown. If Texas Tech is as good as they are purported to be, Kansas State is an absolute train wreck. I'm not going to forget the way they looked early in the year. I know it's at home. Give me the Raiders by 10. I only need to give 7.5, so I feel good.
Raiders by 10. I like that.
Well, I'm saying they're going to win by double digits.
Yeah.
Texas Tech is -7.5. So that's the spread that I can get credit for.
K-State too, correct?
Against K-State on the road at K-State.
Yeah,
so it's not
that game could be like a 3-point game at halftime, and then Texas Tech kind of.
Do you want me to tell you what you should do for your final pick? It's going to win.
What's that?
I'm going to give you a freebie that I can't take because I already selected 5. You should take Kansas and Oklahoma State over 54.5.
Okay, not gonna. I'm going to bet with my heart.
You're going to eschew the free win that I just gave you?
I might be in a jurisdiction of legality, and I might place something on that, but I'm going to take
Pennsylvania's legal.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. And Brendan, I don't want the points.
You going to this game?
Care. I'm going to the game. I don't care about +3.
Who do they play?
The Colts. I don't care. I don't care.
You think they're going to beat the Colts outright, the almighty Colts?
I'm not. It's only +140. I don't even want an extra unit. I am leaving the points at the door.
Can I give you 2 units for this?
Sure.
Just because it's your team.
Steelers money line. They're beating the Colts. And if you want to get cute, because this is, this is happening. Let me find some props. I can't
believe this is your pick. Now wait a minute. You're going to be in Pittsburgh.
I'll be in Pittsburgh.
The game is in Pittsburgh.
The game is in Pittsburgh. I can't find it. Maybe if I go elsewhere. Danny Jones to throw an interception. I don't know what the odds will be on that. Yeah. But I think that the Steelers will have a good enough pass rush to make him throw at least one. And that's my pick. It's even odds for him to throw a pick. I think he's going to throw a pick.
Okay. I mean, that's not part of this. I'm just giving you but
I'm giving you a freebie since you gave me a freebie.
Well, I think we're done, right? Haven't we picked 5
No, yeah.
times?
I'm just saying that if
I want to
find a river,
go to a jurisdiction.
Yeah. If you need me to play something for you, because I'll be in jurisdiction, I think that's one to
I don't think you
place.
can mule for people. I still think that's frowned upon.
Okay. Well, I'll dump that then. I'm feeling good about this. I'm excited. I think, my last trip to watch a football game was heartbreaking. So hopefully this one isn't as heartbreaking. And Brendan, between you and me, I don't want the audience to hear this. It's going to be heartbreaking. They ain't winning this football game.
Who, the Steelers?
Yeah, but that's just between you and me.
Why did you just tell the audience that they were going to win?
Because if they do win and I get 2 units for it.
2 units for it. But you were prepared to do it for only 1 unit. So that just shows how true of a fan that you are.
They're winning this football game. They're not winning.
All right, bro. I'll root for them just because of you. I hope it works out for you.
I might quit football if they lose. After
but they are underdogs. So
yes,
let's be careful.
But if I go from watching Mizzou, I'll say this: Mizzou losing to Vandy, heartbreaking fashion. If the Steelers lose to the Colts in heartbreaking fashion, and then Mizzou goes and just loses in any sort to A&M, I might just quit the sport. I might find a new career.
Yeah, this is kind of tough for us sports talk people.
Yeah, because sports have been hurting me lately.
And then we got to talk about them every day because this is what we do.
Yeah, and it's just like the pain just lingers. All right, well, that's all we got. Mizzou is 6-2. Quickly, give me how many wins they have end of season.
It's either 7 or 10.
I'm going to go 8. They beat Mississippi State and Arkansas.
I need 8 so bad because I bet the over 7.5 before the season. So I am terrified that if they lose to A&M, this whole thing goes off the rails and they lose to one of those teams they shouldn't lose to.
I agree.
We'll see.
Well, he's Brendan Schaefer. I'm Grant Salzman. Hopefully we'll win you some money. And as always, MIZ. And up next is Charlie Tuna and the Posse on the Loot Information Station.
Kevin Coleman Jr.
And I'm Mizzou linebacker Josiah Trotter.
When we hit the field,